Hi everyone, it's Charlene here from This Is Project Me, the home of spiritual wellbeing and awareness. And today we have a special guest with us from Santa Barbara, Naomi Charanpal, and she is a spiritual psychologist and a Kundalini Yoga and Meditation teacher. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today.
It's quite an honor.
So tell me a little bit about your Kundalini journey and how Kundalini found you.
Well, I used to do Hatha yoga, and I still actually love practicing Hatha yoga. About 10 years into it, I actually stopped doing yoga. I don't know what happened. I was distracted and fell off that path for about a year. And you know, my boyfriend at the time, he and I were getting into a lot of arguments, and one day he said to me, "Why don't you go back and do some yoga?" And I was like, you know, I will. That's a great idea. And so at that time, I feel like my spirit was really needing a big transformation, a big change. And so what happened is I just did a Google search for yoga in my area, and Kundalini Yoga popped up, and I said, I heard of that before, but I had no idea what it was. And so I showed up, and I almost ran away. The very first sight of my teacher made me want to run in the other direction. He just wasn't. He did not look like what, you know, the yoga teachers I had grown accustomed to looking like. So, but that first class was just so amazing. It broke through so many layers of my facade, and I was emotional. I cried, but the feelings in my body were alive again, and I was smiling, and I felt like I'd found myself again. So Kundalini Yoga found me that day, and then you know, the journey onward was inevitable that one day I would start teaching it just because of my love for it.
Well, what a beautiful journey. My first encounter with Kundalini, I was studying Ayurveda in India, and there was a girl in our class, and she was a tantric teacher, and she kept kind of pushing me towards reading some Osho books, and I started reading a little bit of Osho, and you know, transcending and Kundalini kept coming up in his books. And I was like, what is this Kundalini he keeps talking about? And I had to look into it, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. It's, you know, everything I've been looking for in one little class. So I went on my way like you did to a class, and I was a little bit frightened, I have to admit. I was and here in Perth, Australia, it's not very well known. So I rocked up to this class, and there were about 3 really much older ladies than me, and they had their sheepskin rugs, and but I loved it. The singing and everything, it really it lifted my spirits, and yeah, it's really beautiful.
I totally resonate with what you just said, and how it has all the components of what, you know, we look for in yoga. Aside from the physical, it works with the mind in so many amazing ways, and also the chanting and the singing, as you touched on. It's really something unique.
Yeah, it is. Oh, what a blessing that you can share that with the world as well.
It's like a blessing every time.
If you had the chance to meet Yogi Bhajan and could ask him just one question, what would it be?
One question. Wow. That's a powerful question in and of itself. I have so many questions for him. Well, you know, a lot of people would come to him asking advice for meditation and you know, advice on their lifestyle and whatnot. And I think he left us with so much that I wouldn't necessarily ask that in particular. I would ask how to, when teaching, how to remain a clear channel for these teachings to come through, and see what he could offer up for that. I mean, he gave us so much. What I find when I teach is, you know, I feel like a clear channel, a portal for the teachings, and for the healing realm of Guru Ram Das. But there's moments, you know, just like, you know, being human, there's moments where I'll either question myself or have a moment of what next, or I get in my head, or have a moment where the ego comes in.
Of course,
And
yeah.
so I would ask him if there was maybe a mantra to get back to the teachings,
Okay.
or something that he would do or recommend. I think that would take my teaching up to the next level of growth.
Ah, that's awesome. That's a good question. I'd love to know the answer to that. As would you.
Right.
So, can you explain to me and the listeners a little bit about the significance of wearing white during your Kundalini practice?
Sure. Yeah, we wear white head to toe when we're teaching, and it's suggested that we wear white, in general,
Okay.
because it enhances the auric field. It brightens the aura. When we wear white, it actually reflects light. So that's how it enhances the aura. White as a color is the absence of color, basically. But white as light contains all the colors of the rainbow. So that's kind of the science behind it. When light shines on the white, it actually reflects all the colors of the rainbow in the auric field, and increases our radiance.
Ah, beautiful. That's
Yeah.
gorgeous. That makes me want to wear white all the time too. That's really
Yeah, I
beautiful.
notice when people wear white, there's something a little bit like lighter in the aura, and they
Yeah.
sit. And if not all white head to toe, definitely on the top layers.
Yep. Yeah, and I've noticed, a lot of spiritual leaders and I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels lately, and a lot of spiritual aware people. They wear a lot of white, so it must be why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that's really nice. Okay, and can you tell me and the listeners a little bit about your private sadhana practice? What do you do on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, I sing.
Okay.
I do something called Satkriya.
Okay.
It's one of the foundational meditations in Kundalini Yoga, and the reason I do it, and it's funny because although I was never able to meet Yogi Bhajan, when he was on the planet, my teacher is a direct descendant from his, teachings.
Wow.
And her name is Gurmukh. She's pretty well known in the Kundalini world.
Oh,
and
gorgeous.
so I went to her when I was doing my training, and I said, what should I do? And she said, I was upset at first because it sounded so generic. She said Satkriya. And I said, everyone does Satkriya. I wanted something different or special. And, I did it for 40 days, and I came to her after, and I said, okay, I've done my 40 days. Can I have another meditation? And she said, yes, you can. Satkriya. And so I said, oh, okay, well, I guess it's going to be Satkriya for me. And what I've noticed, what it does for me is it raises my vibration while at the same time keeping me grounded and rooted in my body, so that I can serve.
Okay.
So that I can be my personal best and serve my highest purpose. It's that's my daily, like, if I have to do that.
Okay.
I haven't missed it in a long time, and knock on wood, I don't.
Do you wake up at a specific time to do this practice?
Yes, I try and wake up as early as possible and do it. I've been doing it in the morning recently. I was doing it at night because it's also a meditation that doesn't fire you up so much. It's actually quite grounding. So I was doing it at night, then I switched it to the morning, but I do try and do it at the same time every day, whether it's in the morning or night.
Okay.
Just to get just to get my feet on the ground if it's in the morning, or prepare myself for sleep if it's at night.
Ah, gorgeous. I'll have to try that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you were to choose one, it's probably going to be a similar answer. If you were to choose one meditation, one Kundalini meditation, would it be Satkriya?
Oh gosh, well, it depends on the person, but yes, that's one of them. Another one that I would offer would be something called Kirtan Kriya. And
Okay.
Kirtan Kriya, as Sat Kriya, it works on so many different things, on so many levels. And the Kirtan Kriya enhances the third eye space and powers of intuition. So that's something we all could tap into more, especially males, actually, because females have more, in general, more intuitive powers than males. So that's a good one I'd recommend for men to do.
Ah,
Yeah.
beautiful. And what's with teaching Kundalini, what's your favorite meditation or posture to teach in a class? If you had to choose just one.
Mm. Well, my goodness, it's called Ego Eradicator, which is kind of its cute little nickname, because we're not trying to eradicate the ego, but we do use this practice to loosen the grip of the ego.
Okay.
And your arms are up at a 60-degree angle. You're doing a breath of fire with it, and it's very intense. But that's another one I try to do every single day of my life, so that I can just be myself.
Ah, beautiful. I have actually practiced. I have tried this ego eradicator before, and is 11 minutes the specific time frame that you were supposed to do this for?
11 minutes is very often the amount of time, the length of time to do a meditation in a Kundalini yoga class or on your own personal sadhana. But for Ego Eradicator, it is so heating, and sense that we 2 to 3 minutes usually does the job.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. How long have you? What's the longest meditation that you have done for yourself with Kundalini?
2.5 hours.
Wow, 2.5 hours. That's
Yeah.
great. And was that difficult
There's
for you?
Yes, at first you go through the stages of meditation. You get bored, you get frustrated, irritated, angry. But those are all the stages of meditation that are common to any human as you embark on a meditation of great length. And once you pass the threshold of those stages, you just surrender, and it feels blissful. So yes, in the beginning, and then the boredom kicks in, but you just move through those. And so yes, challenging, yes, my God, of course.
Wow, good
But
for you. So one question for the newbie Kundalini yogis. What advice would you give to them, being very, very new, their first or second class? Would you offer them a piece of advice?
I would love to. When you're new to Kundalini Yoga, it's a little overwhelming at first. Like, there's chants and mantras everyone knows and you don't. And first of all, just accepting that and being okay with it. Like, everyone went through that same thing. And if you enjoy the practice, to just keep going, it does get easier. And emotions will come first, in particular. I don't know, when people are new and up to me after their first class, they say, I started crying. Is that unusual? I said, no, it's actually very common. Your soul brought you to the class. You're ready for this amazing transformation, or to clear some things in your life. And I'd say just do your personal best when you show up, listen to your inner teacher, and close your eyes so there's no comparing yourself to any other person in the room, and just go for it. Do your personal best with it, and then accept yourself no matter what.
Ah, that's a beautiful, beautiful advice and answer. Thank you for that. And one last question. I love to end with this because I'm a bit of a travel junkie myself. So what is the most spiritual place you have traveled to, and why?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I've been to Istanbul in Turkey, and that place was so spiritual to me. It just felt like magic. The mosques there, just, what really did it for me on an emotional level, spiritual level, was that every hour, I think it was, they would get on the loudspeakers from the Hagia Sophia there and chant and pray. And it was a moment, like every hour on the hour, where you would just hear it, no matter where you were in the city. and everyone would just stop and return to spirit. No matter what religion you were or what language you spoke, it was that moment where everyone was present with each other.
Ah, that's beautiful. So it was like a gentle reminder to check in with yourself and go back to that beautiful place. That's nice. I feel like the whole world should be like that.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show and sharing all of your wisdom and Kundalini experience with us today.
It was my pleasure. I really appreciate you asking me to come on the show.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great having you, and I hope that whoever's listening, it really helps them with their Kundalini practice, and perhaps helps some people to try Kundalini for themselves. So yeah, thank you so much, Naomi. It was really beautiful having you here today.
I also wanted to just mention that I'm going to be in Australia in March and April teaching.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, and where are you teaching? Tell us where you're teaching and how we can get a hold of, the details for your classes and everything.
Great. I'm teaching in Melbourne,
Okay.
and it will be from March through April, 3 different weekends. The dates are escaping me right now. One is at Yoga Tree, the other at Kundalini House, and the third is at a retreat center in Victoria called Amaranth Retreat.
Okay, beautiful.
And you can go to my website at charanpalkaur.com and check out some more details. I'll be posting those soon.
Ah, beautiful. I'll be sure to link your web address below as well, so people can check out for themselves when you're coming to Australia, and they can look at any other videos or knowledge you have on your website to share too. That would be great.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much.
Great. Satnam.
Satnam.